You wake up on a cold floor. Your vision is blurry. Your head feels like it's been split open from the inside. For a moment, you don't remember who you are. Then you hear it. Footsteps. Dozens of them. You sit up slowly. Your body stiff. Your mouth dry. Your heart already beating too fast. You're not alone. Hundreds of people are scattered across a massive room, all wearing the same green tracksuits. Confused, scared, whispering. And then you look down. A number is printed on your chest. Not your name, a number. And that's when it hits you hard. This is Squid Game, and somehow you're inside it at first. Your brain refuses to accept it. This isn't possible. It's just a show, a story, something you watch safely from behind a screen. But everything is too real. The smell of the room, the sound of people breathing, the weight of your own body, and the fear. The fear is real. Because you remember what happens here. You remember the games. You remember how many people die. You remember how it ends. And that's when a thought creeps in. Something cold. Something dangerous. You already know the rules. At first, that feels like power. You look around at the others. They're confused, panicking, asking questions. What is this place? Is this some kind of prank? When do we get to leave? You don't say anything, because you already know the answer. They won't leave. Not really. Not until most of them are dead. You realize something important very quickly. You have an advantage no one else has. You know what's coming. The games, the order, the tricks, the danger. And for a moment, you think that might be enough to save you. The doors open, and guards in pink uniforms march in with their faces hidden behind black masks. They don't explain anything, and they don't need to. You're led outside into bright daylight. Fresh air hitting your face as a giant playground stretches in front of you. At the far end stands the doll. Your stomach drops instantly because you already know what this is. Red light. Votre semble sur parfait. You line up with everyone else. Some people laugh nervously. Others stretch like it's just a normal game. They still don't understand. But you do, and that changes everything. The doll turns and says, green light. People start running fast. Too fast. You move carefully, taking controlled, measured steps. Then, red light. You stop instantly without hesitation. Gunshots crack through the air. Sharp, loud final. Screams erupt as people freeze too late, or try to keep running. More shots follow. Bodies drop. The illusion shatters. This isn't a game. It's execution. But you expected this. And that's why you're still standing. Chaos spreads across the field as people panic, pushing and tripping over each other. You stay focused. Step, stop. You don't look at the bodies or listen to the screams because thinking slows you down, and slowing down gets you killed. Someone who crashes into you, and you almost lose your balance. Your heart spikes, but you recover just in time and freeze. Another second, and you would have been shot. That's when you realize something important. Knowing the rules doesn't make you safe. It just gives you less room for mistakes. You cross the finish line alive. The game ends, and silence replaces panic. No one understands what just happened, except you. You already know this is only the beginning. The bodies are dragged away like they don't matter. Because here, back inside, everything feels different. People are crying, shaking, begging. Some are angry, others completely silent. Then comes the announcement. A vote. Stay or leave. You already know how this plays out. Most people will choose to leave. They'll go back to their lives, and then they'll come back. Because outside is worse. So now you have to decide, leave and delay the inevitable, or stay and face it now. You think about it hard. If you leave, you might not come back. But you probably will, because if you're here, your life out there isn't much better. Debt, failure, desperation. That's how this place finds people. If you stay, you keep your knowledge, your advantage, your chance. So you stay. And that's when you make your first real mistake. The next game seems simple. Sugar shapes that you have to cut out without breaking. Easy. Unless your hands are shaking, your breathing won't slow down. And every second, Feels like a countdown to death. You already know the trick. Use moisture. Stay patient. But knowing doesn't remove the pressure. You choose a triangle. Safe. Reliable, smart. Around you, people pick randomly. Some laugh. Some argue. Some don't care. They still don't understand. You begin slowly, carefully scratching the surface with the needle. Across from you, someone cracks their shape. They freeze for a moment. Nothing happens. Then, a gunshot. You flinch slightly. And that almost cost you everything. Your hand slips. The needle digs too deep. And a small fracture appears. Your heart stops. This wasn't supposed to happen. You knew this game. You prepared for this, but your body doesn't care what you know. Fear doesn't follow logic. You force yourself to calm down. Steady your breathing and adapt. You use the trick. Carefully, patiently. Time stretches as every second feels longer than the last. And finally, the shape comes free. You survived again, but it doesn't feel like control. It feels like luck. That's when the truth starts to sink in. Knowing the future doesn't mean you control it. It just means you understand how fragile you are. You look around and see far fewer people now. And for the first time,
let me go.
You feel something new, not fear, not panic, but
Please,
doubt.
You don't understand.
Because this place isn't just testing what you know. It's testing how long you can stay human while doing whatever it takes to survive. That night, you don't sleep. You pretend to. You lie still with your eyes closed, breathing slow. But your mind is racing because you remember what happens next. The lights go out. And for a few seconds, there is silence. Then someone screams. It starts small. A fight. Two people arguing. Then a push. A punch. Someone hitting the ground. And then it spreads. More shouting. More movement. Metal beds scraping. Footsteps running everywhere. You open your eyes just enough to see shapes moving in the dark. But you don't move and you don't react because you already know the truth. This isn't chaos. It's part of the game. The guards aren't stopping it. They're watching. People start killing each other. Not because they have to, but because they can. Because fewer players means better odds. A man runs past you, breathing heavily, another chasing him. You hear a struggle, then silence. You stay completely still. Knowing it's coming doesn't mean you can stop it. Someone trips over your bed, and you freeze. But they don't notice you and keep running. Your heart is beating so loud, you're sure someone will hear it. This isn't a game you can memorize. There are no patterns, no strategies, no safe moves. Only one rule. Don't be seen when the lights come back on. The room is quieter, but not calm. Bodies are scattered across the floor, and people sit in silence, covered in blood. Not all of it theirs. You look around, and something inside you changes. These aren't players anymore. They're threats. And for the first time, you stop thinking about surviving the games and start thinking about surviving the people. You remember what comes next. Alliances. So, you approach a small group carefully, speaking just enough to gain their trust. Not too much, not too little, because trust here is fragile and temporary. They let you stay for now. But you already know how this ends. Alliances don't last. Eventually, you'll have to choose between them or yourself. The next game is tug of war.
Be silent.
It looks simple. Strength versus strength. But you know the strategy, the rhythm, the timing. You help organize your team, positioning people and explaining what to do. Some listen, some don't. But when the game begins, it works. You lean back, hold steady, and pull together for a moment. It feels like control again. The rope tightens. Your hands burn. Your muscles strain. And the other team begins to lose balance. Then they fall. You don't look down, but you hear it. The impact followed by sudden silence. You won. But it doesn't feel like winning, because you didn't just survive. You helped kill them. That night feels heavier. No one talks much. No one celebrates. Because now everyone understands something they didn't before.
I made my choice.
You don't just survive by being careful. You survive by making sure someone else doesn't.
So did I.
Your group grows smaller, more tense, more distant. You notice the way they look at each other. Calculating, measuring. And then you realize something terrifying. They're doing the same thing you are. Planning, preparing, and eventually, one of you won't be needed. The next game is the glass bridge. A long path of panels. One safe, one deadly. You know the idea, but not the answers. Players are forced to go first. Step by step, you wait, watching, counting, learning from every fall. Each mistake gives you information, but also brings you closer to your turn. And eventually, it is your turn. You step onto the bridge slowly, your mind racing, trying to remember, trying to predict, but everything feels different. When it's you, one step holds, then another behind you. Someone follows, below someone falls. You move faster now because time is running out. Then you stop. 2 panels. No clues. No certainty. This is the moment your knowledge can't save you. You choose. And step. You make it across. Barely. But not everyone does. And when it's over, you don't feel relief. You feel empty. 2 panels. No clues. No certainty. This is the moment your knowledge can't save you. You choose. And step. You make it across. Barely. But not everyone does. And when it's over, you don't feel relief. You feel empty. Because now you understand the truth. It was never about knowing the rules. It was about what you're willing to become. You thought knowledge gave you control. But all it did was show you how this ends. And now you're here, near the end, with fewer players, more silence, and one final game left. You woke up in Squid Game. And you knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew the games, the tricks, the dangers, but it didn't matter. Because knowing the rules doesn't make you safe. It just makes you aware of how close you are to losing everything. And by the time you realize that, it's already too late.